Hello students, welcome back. Now this is an optional video. I'd like to discuss a little bit more in-depth aspect of this model here because, what can I say, this model is not entirely wrong, but it's highly misleading. Okay, here's my question. Let's go back to the laws of supply and demand. Okay, the quantity of supply increases as the price increases. Price goes up and making more is more profitable, so suppliers make more, and vice versa. Okay, looks nice. And now let's go to the law of demand. Price of demand decreases as the price increases. So price goes up and you want to economize, so you buy less. Price goes down, then okay, you can buy more. Makes perfect sense, but then again, look at this model. P, price, is written in terms of the quantity. P is MQ plus R. So it gives you an illusion that P, price, can be written as a certain function of Q for demand side, like this, and also the price can be written as a function of Q in supply side, like this, as you see over here and there. That's red and that's blue. Sorry, I changed the order. Looks everything is okay, but is it really okay, or is there something wrong? Think about this. Let's consider this. It looks like price is determined by quantity. Okay, all right. Okay, if the demand suddenly goes up, what happens to the price? Suddenly, a lot more people want to buy. What will happen to the price? Use your common sense. Price will go up. More demand, price goes up, unless supply also increases very quickly to counterbalance the effect. But then again, look at this model. Slope is negative. Look at this. Slope is negative, then quantity increases, so more demand, then price must go down, according to this model, but that's not what's actually happening in real-life situation. What is going on here? Something is terribly wrong. Does it mean this entire thing is wrong? As a matter of fact, it's quite possible, it's quite arguable that this entire expression in the textbook is completely wrong, as a matter of fact. I mean, if I'd been arguing with the textbook author, I'd have made that kind of argument, actually. And similar thing is about the supply, as a matter of fact. The reason is the price cannot be written as a function of quantity for demand side or supply side. It can be written as a multivariable function for both demand side and supply side put together. So if the quantity and supply side stay the same and demand side only that one increases, then price goes up. You see, you have different dynamics because you now have multivariable. That, of course, is too difficult. Much better approach is like this. You see? Quantity is determined by price. The laws of supply and demand says the quantity of supply increases as the price increases. You see, quantity of supply can be modeled as a function of price, as a single variable, or at least in very simplified form. The quantity of demand also can be modeled as a function of price in a simplified situation, of course. Now, can you do it vice versa? Can you express the price P as a function of demand or function of supply alone? You can't. This expression here, blue and red, are actually highly misleading. Price is actually a multivariable function. It should be like this. The quantity on the supply side is a function of price, and quantity in demand side is a function of price. And here, the marginal quantity for supply, that's positive because, look at this blue, quantity of supply increases as price increases. Positive slope. Now, as for this marginal quantity of price for demand, that's negative. The quantity of demand decreases as price increases, so this is negative. This is right. This one here, highly misleading, arguably wrong. So this is right. But then again, it's difficult to apply with this. So from here, from the first equation, you can regard it as an equation and solve it with respect to P. It's not too bad. Flip this BS to the other side. Here, to the other side, subtract away. And then flip this AS to the other side, divide it away, and what do we have? We have P as 1 over AS cubed plus, and then this, and name this as my M, and name this as my R, as you have here. Yeah? 1 over A, M is 1 over A, and R is negative B over A. If you do that, then what is the slope M? 1 over A, and that's positive. Because A is positive. 1 over A is positive for demand side. Now, as for supply side, well, that's actually supply side, excuse me. That's for demand side. Exactly the same. Q is AP plus B, and flip B to the other side, and then divide by A. And then 1 over A is M, but A is negative this time. You see, for demand, A is negative. Slope is negative. So 1 over A is negative. M is negative. And then you get P is NQ plus R form. P is NQ plus R form, either supply side or demand side. And then M here and M there, those are positive and negative respectively because A's are positive and negative respectively. And consequently, we end up with the same thing as before. The price in supply side, price in demand side, and then slope for supply side is positive because it's 1 over A, and A is positive, and slope for demand side is negative because it's 1 over A, and A is negative. So you end up with equation like these, but these are not functions that represent P. So we can use these to set up the model and solve equations, but those do not represent P, and those do not predict P. So, what we have in our textbook is okay in terms of computation, but it could be misleading. And if you have already thought about this, you see, if the demand suddenly increases, the price usually goes up if you use common sense. And not according to this, hey, what's going on? Well, that and all other explanations are there, along with all the rigorous algebraic expressions, and I wouldn't call it proof, but I'll say algebraic description, falling a little bit short of proof. By the way, one last comment is all these are depending upon the linear models. In many situations, the situation is inherently nonlinear, and instead of a line, we may have some weird curve that come back and forth, things like these. In that case, we are dealing with highly unusual commodity, but those kind of things also exist. We are dealing with something really simple and not completely dealing with. We are dealing with some special aspects of it in such a shortcut that I was pretty much tempted to call it a sort of cheating even. I mean, to tell the truth, I'm highly disappointed the way it is expressed in the textbook because it was highly misleading. But then again, to a certain degree, I have to agree with the textbook author that doing things like these or these is unnecessarily difficult. But there's a way to work these directly. Why didn't our textbook author take that path? I don't know. Okay, let's stop here. This is an optional video, so if you had difficulty following it, that's not going to kill you. Alright, so much for chapter 6.